Rugby League after the chill of East Hull last night, the rain of Leeds today. It has dried up, the wind has died down, the temperature is not too bad, and the conditions are pretty good. The pitch, maybe not so. There's a lot of sand on it. It's had a lot of traffic on it during the winter, of course, and the ground staff working manfully against the conditions as well to get it ship-shape. But it will be pretty heavy going, I imagine, after all the rain we've had today. And I think, from what we've heard from Kevin Brown and co in the studio, Barry, heavy is going to be the word. We're going to get heavy artillery tonight from these two.
Yeah, you can just see by the way that the teams line up, and the Wolves starting pack and the bench probably gives you an indication where they want to play this Leeds Rhinos side. Obviously, they've got plenty of speed, and Leeds Rhinos will need to manage Blake Austin and Darryl Clark. Chris Hill, well, he'll be given some power up front, but I think for this Leeds Rhinos side, they've got to focus on themselves. They know that they were poor last week in the opening 40 minutes. They fixed it up in the second half, and they were dominant. But all about a good start from both of these sides.
22 unanswered points for the Rhinos last week, but I have to say, gentlemen, this build-up to this game with Joe Wiley, it was like being in a nightclub. Felt like I was at Stoggies back in the day, just down the road here in Leeds. No longer here, Stoggies now, but the spirit of this game and the spirit of the Rhinos will want to come to the front, will want to come to the fore, and Steve Price and Lee Breers at the side of him will hopefully get a good game off the Rhinos.
Robert Hicks is our referee tonight, and just waiting for the flags to clear and the pre-match paraphernalia to be tidied away. There's plenty of it before a game at Headingley. They put a lot of effort into the pre-match, and that includes recruiting Joe Wiley to do the act. Ibiza, I was thinking, Barry.
It was.
Some of us were more in Ibiza, especially with the sand on the pitch.
More cultured than me, Bill.
My mum and dad wouldn't take me Ibiza when you were there, Bill.
Your mum and dad wouldn't take you anywhere if they could help it.
Stefan Ratchford at full-back for the Warrington Wolves tonight. And it's going to be interesting to see how young Keenan Brand goes, the 21-year-old making his debut.
I'll tell you, he is a class act. Watched him since he come through the system at Widnes. He has got ability, strong in defence, really good with the ball, got a good outline when he catches it. Be a good battle with him and Hurrell.
Ready to go. And it'll be Leeds to get us underway. Jack Walker on his 60th appearance gets the game underway. Eagerly anticipated contest between these two. Leeds 5th in the table, Warrington 6th. Leeds looking for 3 wins in a row. It's been mentioned before, it's been a long time since that happened. And Warrington, their away form not so great, dating back to the end of last season. They've lost the last 7 away from home in Super League. First penalty of the game goes to the Warrington Wolves.
Well, that's the threat of Darryl Clark, isn't it? He's explosive from dummy half. He can spot when markers aren't right. He spotted that Matt Pryor, he was late to get back. He couldn't get positioned in that second marker position. It gives the penalty away, easy meters.
Here's Chris Hill to make some more meters on his return to the side after 3 games out for that high tackle on Sam Powell earlier in the season. Cost him 3 games. Here's Jason Clark now for Warrington. About 25 metres out. They go to the left. And Widdop, short pass. And Toby King comes roaring onto the ball in good form at the start of the season. Toby King. Darryl Clark. Is Chris Hill, and Hill onto Austin. Austin gets the ball away to Ben Murdoch-Masilla, and as usual, Murdoch-Masilla proving a handful.
Straight at Luke Gale, bumped him off. The Leeds Rhinos captain.
Ratchford weaving, almost found an opening for himself. He's that short from the try line. Clark sweeps the pass away. Austin kicks cross field, and they're queuing up for it. The ball is gathered. And Toby King has claimed it.
Unable to get it down, good pressure. It was an excellent kick take from Toby King. I think that's going to be a real battle, isn't it? Harry Newman, who the lads in the studio talked about how impressive he is with the ball. He's got some flaws in his game defensively, but that's a mouth-watering battle over on that far side away from us. Steve Price, be excited about what's to come for his centre.
That was on the last tackle, so it's the turnover and Leeds in possession. It's a good opening set from Warrington.
Well, it's certainly making some meters, aren't they? You get a decent kick away, like Barry says, and Harry Newman under pressure. You've got to give some credit to Luke Briscoe as well, who prevented that try from being scored.
Siu Manafanai, 40 metres out from his own try line, plays the ball. Luke Gale going across the field, Robert Louis, and then back comes Reece Martin, weaving his way towards the halfway line. That's the 5th tackle, and it's Louis who puts the kick in, and it just makes dry lands.
He knows what he wants to do at the end of the set, doesn't he, Robert Louis? Some nice ball movement. You saw Reece Martin come back on the inside, returning Reece Martin over on this right side. They've got a nice link, Robert Louis and Reece Martin. He just delicately dabs it over the sideline, and everybody will walk to the scrum, get their breath back, and work out which way they're going to go.
We're going 3 minutes. Can't need a breather already.
No, but it might have been something they've spoken about in the week, trying not to give momentum to Warrington and having a controlled start at the beginning of the defensive effort.
Matt Pryor doing the tackling, named at loose forward by the Leeds Rhinos.
Just big bit more size up front to match the likes of Chris Hill and Cooper. Joe Philbin when he gets onto the field.
And Ledski starting similar thinking.
Yeah, and Joe Greenwood waiting in the wings, 18th man tonight, joined from Wigan on loan, another big man at 13.
Don't jump the line like that. You can see Darryl Clark, then he shot through a gap that was left by a Leeds defender.
Clark making ground. Blake Austin. Oh, Austin cut down, and that was Pryor.
Well, that's
Pryor warning of that one.
Well, that is exactly what he's going to give you. Big physical player. You know that when you play against Blake Austin, he's got to show and go. He's dangerous with the ball.
And Pryor's left Blake Austin in a bit of discomfort there. Hobbling he is.
He's uncomfortably trying to get his position in the defensive line. It was up quick. Matt Pryor.
Penalty. Offsides. Warrington.
Many people believe that Leeds, this is going to be a real test for them. What can they do? How can they handle Warrington? When you look at Warrington this year, in round 1 against Wigan, they were gutsy. Big shot here on Austin. He stays down, goes back on top. In round 2 against Saints, they were exceptional. Poor against Wakefield, and they had a bit of a skirt against Toronto. So what sort of an unpredictable play we're going to see from the wire?
Well, it's Leeds on the attack. It's Newman.
The lads in the studio talked about tackle busters too right there. The ability to beat a man, keep going, force your opponents to miss tackles.
Here's Alex Meller for Leeds. The deepest they've been into Warrington territory so far, about 20 metres away from that Warrington try line. Louis runs straight into a strong tackle from Widdop. Here is Pryor. Murdoch Masilla really went for him then. Here is Gale now. Nice footwork from Walker. Great footwork from Walker. Great work from Jack Walker to get the first try of the game. Bamboozling the Warrington defence to get tries in 3 games in a row now. And Walker capitalising then as the Warrington defence was caught napping. 3rd of the season for the Leeds Rhinos fullback.
Well, the Rhinos benefit here from the penalty. They were down trapped near their own line. The penalty gets them out of trouble without really having to work hard. And ever since he made his debut as a 17-year-old, I think Jack Walker's developing every game. He is absolutely brilliant at the back. He's safe, he's brave, and you put him alongside Harry Newman, like Barry said already, made a couple of tackle busts. They're brave at the back, they will go at the line. They're not bothered about whirring a tackle or running at the likes of Ben Murdoch-Masilla or Jason Clark, and the space opened up.
So Jack Walker marking his 60th appearance for the Leeds club with that try, and Reece Martin is kicking the goals, or kicking his first attempt anyway. It was Luke Gale doing the job in the last few weeks. but Martin has got the kicking tee back. And of course, he's no slouch. He kicked 34 from 40 last year, Rhys Martin, and on target again. Leeds ahead by 6 points to 0.
A wonderful try from Leeds Rhinos, but it all came from the work of the number 10 from Leeds. He got up quick. He got up quick on the playmaker, Blake Austin. May have well picked up an injury. He was unable to get back onside. You can just see catches the ankle of Blake Austin. Blake Austin was one of the players offside from the penalty. From that field position, Leeds Rhinos strike first with 6 points.
See how Austin shapes up. You know, he's not moving freely, is he? He's on this wing near us, and I wonder whether that foot on his ankle has left a bit of pain.
I hope he's not playing on the wing. I saw him play a couple of times there for Great Britain. He's definitely not the best use of that player.
Steve Price not concerned yet. He might be with the ease with which Walker waltzed through the Warrington defence.
It was a missed tackle from the debutant, wasn't it? Keenan Brown, sorry. That's that.
Halfway line, Ledsky was playing the ball. And Leeds with Meller now. And Gale kicks into the corner. Ratchford judges that and has nothing to do with it, quite wisely.
I'll be disappointed with that, because from down near their own line, it made some decent meters, landing on the front. They're giving him an option to kick on the front foot, and he just puts too much weight on it with Gale.
I would say it was a poor pass from acting half. He had to reach for it, kicked it, caught it and kicked it more or less in the same action. But you're right, 7 tackles to defend for Leeds now.
Here's Tom Lynham, runs into some strong Leeds defence, very strong Leeds defence. Rhys Martin in there, Robert Louis, 2 big figures. Now Ben Curry, go down the short side to Warrington. Chris Hill. Hill flicks an offload out, just picked up off his toes. Leeds supporters are appealing that Mike Cooper had knocked that on. Not so.
You know what you're going to get. I think that wasn't a knock on. I think that was okay from Cooper.
Here he is again.
But they're always looking for offloading. You can see he was obviously dominant defence, been driven back, but they do like to offload the ball, especially Cooper and Hill.
Struggling to make inroads at the moment. Widdup short ball.
Big tackle on Ben Curry, and they forced a mistake. Over on that right side, yeah, they're looking to shut the players down. You're right to identify those offloads. Think back to that St Helens game. The way they got the ball away, you can see it's a low tackle from Robert Louis. Defenders in, and Sian Manifanai, who's leading the tackle count with 10 already so far. He just lends his weight as the 3rd man in, and the ball just spews out.
Curry not able to keep a hold of it. And they're living up to, Richard Agar said before the game that they needed to be more intense.
They need to have a bit of whack in the defence, and that's exactly what they've got. Look at the way that Harry Newman's carrying the ball. He's not afraid of going at Ben Murdoch-Masili. Yeah, he's been dominated, but things like that don't deter you. So the next play now, coming off a slow play of the ball, you need a quick ruck here. But again, difficult for Pryor.
Warrington responding in kind then. And here's Conrad Horrell, and winds up for a charge and forces his way, despite the efforts of 3 Warrington defenders, over the halfway line. 3 tackles gone this set of 6.
It's great work from Sian Manifanai.
Gale gets the pass away to Walker. Walker on his way again.
There's the penalty, all caused by Sian Manifanai. He worked hard to get through contact, hit the ball, and Keenan Brand could not resist. There you see Jack Walker. It's a legs tackle from Big Ben, and a penalty given away from Warrington. Good work. You can see the big man, he shrugs off Darryl Clark, and he's able to roll, play the ball all in the same action.
Yeah, it's going to be in and out, boys, so let's not let that get to us. In line with me.
Playing it quick, the Rhinos at the minute.
And the flop, and Richard Agar sends the call down. 2 more points.
All coaches will talk about is that, look, we need to create momentum. we need to make sure that everything's on our terms, and if you can play the ball as quick as you can, you will give the hooker, whether it be Brad Dwyer or Darryl Clark, something to play off. The penalty was just there for Keenan Brand, knowing that it was going to be a quick play of the ball. The last tackle, Leeds Rhinos would have picked it up, run the play, and would have been caught out by numbers.
And Reece Martin, this is virtually the same spot from where he converted Jack Walker's try a short time ago. So he succeeded with that. And this to extend the Rhinos' advantage. 85% success rate with his goal kicking last season. Reece Martin. Reece says the South Stand, their answer to Sneed.
I know who will be joining in with that at home. Our old friend Eddie Hemmings. I know he'll be tuning in. It's a good start for Richard Agar and his team, and Steve Price. It's a little bit to think about there. Ruck speed is something that the Wolves rely heavily on. They need that momentum at the play of the ball, and so far the Rhinos are dominating that aspect of the game.
So Ratchford resumes into the arms of Gale, and Ava Siumanafani, the former Cronulla Shark, brings it back for the Leeds club.
Oh, he was hit hard then from Masilla, wasn't he? Wow, driven back as well. And look physical, 8 points behind on the scoreboard. They know that they need to be better, that this Warrington side. I think they're in for a big year off Ledsky. I think he's in for a massive year.
Well, he's making his 50th appearance, is Mikołaj Ledsky, the Polish-born front rower. And here is Conrad Hurrell, the fans' favourite, and Louis was charging up in support.
He was in space as well, but a decision to keep hold, knowing it's late on in the tackle count, and they're running this one.
Martin drills a kick downfield. Ratchford, very coolly dealt with.
Well, players like that, Bill, it keeps you on your toes, because everyone expects you to kick the ball on the last play. They run it, they see what's in front of them, then they reassess, and yeah, they do the thing right. There's nothing on for us here. They've got the numbers, we'll just kick it through. But it just keeps you on your toes.
Here's Josh Charnley, and Pryor putting himself about again. Big tackle once more. Another former Cronulla man. Made the Cronulla team of the decade. Just before Christmas did Matt Pryor, making the tackle once more on Chris Hill.
Been an impressive 14 minutes for Leeds in defence. Sting when they're hitting their opponents, and then good control at the end of it. That's the reason that ball is met by Ash Hanley. And look at that, he's almost at the halfway line.
But he runs into Warrington defenders, Darryl Clark, Jason Clark. Briscoe now. Luke Briscoe, just over the halfway line.
Wow.
Walker, he really has got the taste for it tonight, hasn't he?
What were the Warrington markers doing then? It was though that they didn't realise the ball had been played.
He's limping though. Jack Walker, after that little run. Siumanafani. Now Robert Louis. Louis to Reece Martin. 10 metres away from the Warrington line. It's with Luke Gale, and Gale will kick across field, and Hanley is going to challenge for this. Oh, Hanley will try and get there, but they'll get the penalty, will Warrington. Hurrell, not the subtlest of challenges for that ball.
But you've got Keenan Brand, who's athletic. You've got Conrad Hurrell, who's just a monster, isn't he? He goes up, but he just makes contact, pushes Keenan Brand, who then forced to lose the ball. It's a contest if they both go for the ball, but you could see the first contact from Hurrell was on Keenan Brand.
I don't think he got off the ground, did he?
Probably an inch or two. Not much hang time there, Bill.
Here's Jason Clark now in his second Warrington season.
Hold, go. Yeah.
Now Mike Cooper. Warrington yet to get into this game, really haven't had an opportunity to get into this game.
Defensively, Leeds Rhinos have been really good. They've really stepped up, haven't they, to the way that they expected Warrington to play as they look to shift the ball to an edge. They're not having any joy, they're not getting any return in the middle of the field.
So Widdop takes Toby King, takes matters into his own hands and takes play into Leeds territory. Anyway, here's Blake Austin, seems to have got over that bang on the ankle. Aledzki with the initial tackle, and then Siumanafanai follows up. Widdop hoists that kick. Walker claims it and then dodges the arriving Warrington tacklers.
It's a good set of 6, isn't it, from Warrington Wolves? They're looking to apply some pressure now. They want to get good line speed.
Walker's struggling, Barry.
I think Harry Newman is as well. I think Harry Newman was, when Walker went up for that ball, he was pushed and he went down, he fell awkwardly. I think he's hurt his ankle.
3 physios on the pitch at the moment for the Leeds Rhinos, buzzing around. Luke Gale too, Matt Pryor. Good strength from Matt Pryor. Louis now, again, thumps the kick and Tom Lynham decides not to have anything to do with it.
And as we mentioned, the first time they did it, on that occasion, it came from nowhere, but when they do something over and over again, a team, you can assume that they've looked at it in the week and said this is the best way for us to start to defend our opposition.
And that's when you're looking at the likes of Jack Walker, who's injured, he's down on the ground. You know that Harry Newman's picked up a knock. You also know that Matt Pryor, Siumanafanai, Aledzki are doing big work, not only in defence, but when they're carrying the ball. You can see he goes through, he gets through. So good at getting through defences. Just lands awkwardly with Ben Curry at the back. We get a penalty here now, Warrington, which will simply help their cause.
No, you might go from the scrum. 8 backs.
So that is a big bonus for the Warrington Wolves. That's scrum infringement. And Warrington take play into Leeds territory.
Looking to link back up then with Toby King on the left-hand side. We've seen that a number of times.
It's Chris Hill now. Hill will, as ever, take it to the heart of enemy territory. Widdop now to Blake Austin. Austin to Ben Murdoch-Masilla. Murdoch-Masilla takes some stopping. 10 metres out now, Warrington. The ball with Blake Austin. Across the field, not a great pass. But they keep the ball alive. It's with Darryl Clark, but Warrington's static at the moment.
And any time the likes of Darryl Clark get the ball, all you got to do is make sure your line's all intact. No one jump it.
Widdop. Ben Murdoch-Masilla. Forward pass, said the South Stand, and they were right.
A really clunky set that, wasn't it, for Warrington? Gareth Widdop ended up with the ball in his hand when it went on the floor when Warrington went to their left, and on that occasion he sees he has a short option, what we call the front door. He had an option out the back. He wasn't happy with the back, didn't even look at the option to go out the back door.
Barry, hang on a minute. Right at the top of the picture, Jack Walker, I think, is leaving the field.
Yeah, Richie Meller that's come on. So we'll have a look how this is going to unfold.
I don't need that, Dave. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're just checking on that. It is Jack Walker who scored that opening try after only 3 minutes, and he's...
Well, it looks like Harry Newman's gone to the... Oh no, Briscoe's going back out there.
So Leeds having to do a bit of rearranging.
Yeah.
Blow that is.
It's hard to cover when a fullback has to leave the field.
Here is Alex Meller. Walker off, he's going straight up the tunnel. We can see from where we are the tunnel to the new dressing rooms, and Walker's disappeared, looking very disconsolate, and his opposite number, Stefan Ratchford, claims that ball for Warrington.
Perfect take from the fullback, Warrington fullback, under pressure as well. The big figure of Conrad Hurrell in front of him.
So can Warrington...
If you're Warrington in, you get a quick play of the ball. You want to kick the ball down towards Leeds land. You haven't got a fullback. Or is it Meller that's just dropping
Richard
back?
Meller, yeah.
Yeah, he's just dropping back now. But he was up for the first 3 or 4 plays.
Another penalty in favour of Warrington.
6 penalties now. Off we got 20, almost 22 minutes, 4-2. the penalty count. You can see, quite rightly, holding on. Josh Charnley with his second effort, trying to get his side further downfield. Leeds have reshuffled and put Richie Meller at the back. Often sides will put a playmaker at fullback. Stefan Ratchford, the number 1 for Warrington, he can play standoff, scrum half, hooker. But it's a very different responsibility for Richie Meller in front of him now. He's been playing as a replacement hooker.
Cooper with the good run, Clark with a darting run. Now, can Warrington capitalise on a little bit of disruption for the Rhinos with Walker going off, and we will go down to Jenna Brooks in a moment to find out what the score is there. And they could be capitalising here because Lynham has got away, but that's good defence, great defence from the Leeds Rhinos to stop the big man, Tom Lynham. He does take some stopping, but they came across and stopped his progress.
Well, you've got to hit him with absolutely everything, Lynham. He's the size of a forward. He dips his shoulder, he tries to get rid of Brad Dwyer, he can't do that. The big, powerful winger scores these nine times out of 10, but good technique from Dwyer against former teammate.
They know, don't they? The Rhinos know that that's an opportunity. He doesn't often get those wrong.
Yeah, we want to find out how Jack Walker's going on and the story there. Jenna Brooks.
Thanks, Bill. You saw him struggling with what looked like a foot injury. It is a foot injury. He's hyperextended it. He's been taken into the dressing room now to be further assessed, but unlikely he'll return.
Well, that'll be a big, big blow if he can't get back on the field. Richie Meller in the last set of 6 that they were defending near the line, he was caught at the first defender around the ruck. Nobody behind the back. All it takes is a little kick, a little drop the ball onto your boot, stick it through the line, and you'll be okay.
Adam Cuthbertson is on for Leeds, who are still ahead by 6 points to 0. Bit of a stop-start contest. 8 points to 0, beg your pardon, forgot Rhys Martin's penalty.
Another kick towards that sideline, but of course Stefan Ratchford now, he's aware of it and links up nicely with his back line. Incidentally, last week when they played the Salford Red Devils, when the interchange was made between and they brought Meller and Adam Cuthbertson on for Leeds, it really changed the game in their favour. Completely different situation now. They're in a real arm wrestle with Warrington.
There is Joe Philbin. Usually brings a little bit of vigorosity to the Warrington effort when he comes off the bench.
Oh yeah, every time he gets the ball, he just runs to bust, doesn't he? Got some real power.
Blake Austin, Ratchford chiming in, and Keenan Brand. Brand gets collared by Luke Gale. Brand didn't take kindly to that. Here is Blake Austin. Welcome to the big time.
I think it was Luke Gale more celebrating that he'd actually got a big shot in. Then the half-back, he not lost the ball as well.
Well, the South Stand liked it, didn't it? You can see Blake Austin, after that big tackle on young Keenan Brand by the captain Luke Gale, it goes back inside. There's 3 defenders, three big men as well. When he's trying to regain his feet, just simply loses the ball, Blake Austin. There it is. Grips all wrong. No control over that ball. But here's the hit. Luke Gale gets up quick on the young centre. A little bit of pushing and shoving from the back there, and he plays the ball and jogs forward, Brand.
How enthusiastic is Conrad Hurrell?
On his own teammate.
He loves it, doesn't he?
Luke Gale's probably got a couple of cracked ribs now, hasn't he? Irrepressible Conrad Hurrell. From the moment he comes out to warm up, he is just enthusiasm personified, isn't he?
Bill, he's waving at the fans, he's dancing in the warm-up, he's a bulldozer when he gets the ball.
I swear he was jigging along to some of Joe Wiley's tunes, actually, in the warm-up. I thought he sure. I saw him.
Yeah, very bad dad dancing going on this gantry.
Adam Cuthbertson now. 35 years of age now, just 35, Adam Cuthbertson. Here's the next generation, maybe, Aledzki. He's just 21. Pryor it is, I beg your pardon, and Pryor is tackled 20 metres out. Gale. Coming back infield is Meller. Maybe didn't expect to be on the field so early on, Richie Meller, tonight, but that injury to Jack Walker has change things around. Cameron Smith is on. Louis puts the kick in, and the ball is picked up, and there is an offside there.
He kicks the ball, doesn't he? Takes it to the line, kicks it, it hits a Warrington player, and Darrell Clark finds himself in front of the ball. Here we go, Robert Louis.
The kicking tee's coming out. Brad Dwyer looks as though, sorry, as we see that incident again.
Yeah, he wanted to run it, didn't he, Brad Dwyer? He wanted to tap the ball, but the kicking tee was sent out. No, at the line, Robert Louis over on the right-hand side. He's got a good relationship with Reece Martin. A lot of eyes on Reece Martin. Then you could see that he stood in an offside position when the ball ricochets.
Yeah, I've got you on that, but I think still you can be cleaner yourself by not getting yourself
So Martin will have another go.
You two guys, especially on surrenders, just stand up. You'll get them quicker generally if you just let them out.
Well, it seems to be a high-tempo game, doesn't it? Obviously, scoreboard's going in Leeds Rhinos' favour. Although you look at the penalty count, and Warrington have had more penalties. But the completion rate from Warrington's probably affecting them, down at 58%, whereas Leeds Rhinos are over 80%.
So Reece Martin, 2 from 2 for him so far tonight. It was Ben Curry that ball ricocheted off, thus putting Darrell Clark offside. Martin from the other side of the posts, no problem. And leads into double figures, 10-0 at Richard Agar's side lead. He must be pretty satisfied with the first 28 minutes.
I think he will be, yeah. He's played a lot of the game to his right as he's watching this game, our left. They've continually tried to kick their opponents and make them work hard out of their own half. But Warrington will get their share of possession, they'll get their share of field position, and it's up to Leeds Rhinos to try and defend that.
Ratchford. Gale collects Cuthbertson. Toronto against St Helens is on tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena for that. I wonder if Tony Gigot is going to get a look in for the Wolfpack. It'd be good to see him back in Super League. The Frenchman with a great flair.
Maverick, we class them as, don't we? Yeah, Maverick. We're in the company of one in the stand here. Leah Breer's one of the very best for me. Gigot's the best one in Super League.
Game needs him.
Absolutely, the players, I think it's John Wells who calls them the lean forward players. You lean forward to see what they're going to do.
Robert Louis, Luke Gale across the field. Meller, 40-metre line, Leeds territory.
Move now, get square, hold me, hold.
Matt Davis is out there. Ben Murdoch-Masilla's got a whack on the nose. Gale manages to squeeze the kick away.
That was a good defensive set from Warrington. A lot of pressure on Gale then when he was kicking that ball from Joe Philbin. Doesn't get the distance that he wants, but at least Leeds Rhinos have got to the kick. They're not making mistakes like they were in the first half last week when they were at Salford. A lot of times they were bringing the ball away from the try line, fumbling the ball, gifting Salford that easy possession without them having to work hard for it.
And this strategy from Leeds is, as you were suggesting earlier on, it's making it difficult for Warrington to settle into any routine, any
rhythm. Yeah, as we see a mistake here,
it's frustrating.
That justifies what they've been doing.
It's frustrating. They look for that impossible offload when there's numbers around. On the first play, 25 metres from the line.
And here's Alex Meller now. Cuthbertson doing what he does best, managing to offload, and Hurrell will try and barge his way through, and Warrington will respond and barge him back the way he came. That was better from the Wolves' defence, but they've created problems for themselves with that fumble. Louis now, the ball is batted on and batted out of play, I suspect. It is in touch, so an opportunity. Yeah, they've salvaged that situation well, didn't they?
Good pressure from Warrington, got up quick. It's Richie Meller. He's out of position. He won't be unfamiliar with that play and being in that position, but he was under that much pressure from Warrington, who got up quick, forced him into the catch and pass at the same time. Toby King is having a tremendous year. Can play in the second row. He's big enough to play in the second row, fast enough to play in the centre, and got a good skill set too.
Jack Walker is out of the dressing room, out of the treatment room. in the Leeds dugouts. I suspect there's ice on that ankle.
Well, if there is, they don't often strap the ice on and then get back out on the field. Normally, the ice is to protect the swelling. It looked to me like when the players were over the top of him, his foot went underneath him. There could be some damage to the ligaments, but Warrington, with that offloading game, are trying to get on the front foot.
Here goes Darryl Clark. A threat when they let him do that.
And that's what will get Warrington back into the game. Those sorts of runs.
Blake Austin in the middle of the field to Widdop. Widdop onto Curry. Curry to King. King runs into Briscoe's tackle. Briscoe trying to steal the ball, but King escapes. Now it's Blake Austin. Austin flicks the pass away to Widdop. Off the cuff from the wire, but that's the 5th tackle. 25 metres out. Austin puts the kick in, and Meller at full-back. Oh! Spilled it.
You could see he wasn't comfortable under that different position. Like Barry says, he's played in the halves, so he can get those attacking lines quite right. Been playing at 9 this year, but he gets that all wrong at the back. You know, he's one of those players, Richie Meller. I think his attitude's been first class this year for the Rhinos. He's focused, he's trained hard. Last year he's more or less said that, look, if you want to leave, you can get a club, you can move on. He's actually had to really dig in and fight for his position in the side, and he's doing a decent job.
It is a good point, well made, that, Tez, because he's had his number taken away from him. He's having to fight to get into the starting lineup, and he's still as energetic and as enthusiastic as ever.
The Warrington have possession, and they are very close. That is the Leeds try line. And Leeds under pressure now. Warrington, can they capitalise on that error from their former player, Richie Meller? Clark gets the pass away to Austin. Austin sweeps it on to Widdop. Widdop to Curry. Curry. King caught by Newman and Louis. Here is Widdop again, and now Mike Cooper charges towards the Leeds line, and still going Cooper until he's brought down. Cuthbertson round the ankles. Clark just weighing up the options. Gets the pass away to Widdop. Widdop to Ben Murdoch-Masila, and he will barrel towards the Leeds try line.
Dropped
that ball, another error.
Well, that's the same play he scored against Salford last week. Coming back against the grain, a drop-off play as it's called in the trade. He's a very powerful player to try and stop, but as he's trying to get up, he loses control of that ball. That's the second time. Blake Austin did it 5 or 10 minutes ago. Basic fundamental error, and Steve Price, when he gets his team in at half-time, said, do us a favour, lads, keep hold of the ball.
Cuthbertson was all over him then, surely.
Possibly, Bill, possibly.
They got away with one there.
You might be right.
You're not going to say yes.
I think that's his way of apologising to you.
You're not going to say yes. Leeds, a let-off for them. No complaint from Ben Murdoch-Masila, to be fair.
No, he's used to just crashing over people there, but he probably thinks I did need to have a better grip on that ball then. Simple errors, you can't afford to make them, but at least it's far away from his try line.
Here is Cuthbertson. Always looking for an opportunity to get the offload away is Adam Cuthbertson. Little shove on him from Ben Murdoch-Masila. Cuthbertson gets to his feet, all smiles, and then looks up and sees a big gap in front of him. Thinks, well, I'll have a bit of that.
There's the offload.
He's offloaded it to Gale now. Gale across the field. Hurrell comes back, gets away from the first 2 challengers. Only Ratchford between him and the try line. Ratchford gets a hold of something, and then Hurrell goes without the ball.
He offloaded that ball. He thought he could get it. I think it was Cameron Smith who finds himself on the bench tonight.
What do you think goes through a fullback's mind when you see Conrad Hurrell bursting through a gap and running at you at full tilt?
I'll tell you exactly. Your man. Your man, you've got it. A waste of possession, though. He undoes all that good work, Conrad Hurrell, with a loose, risky offload.
Warrington have possession. Charnley plays the ball. Philbin on quickly to Widdop. Widdop to Austin, and Austin goes wide to King, and King goes wide to Lynham. Lynham cuts back infield, and Lynham builds up a header scene, but there was an obstruction on the way. The referee will bring him back, and that just about encapsulates the first half an hour.
They're making so many mistakes. Like Steve Price's side is so clinical. Like what we saw against them when they played against St Helens, they were so good with and without the ball, and you can see that Gareth Widdop just more or less walks into Reece Martin, takes him out, and that's why the gap opened up. The referee gives the penalty, but like Conrad Hurrell there, look at him, he's got the ball tucked under his arm, bit of footwork, and Stephen Ratch was thinking, thank God he used some footwork then and just didn't pin his ears back and go for me.
And he was trying to find Robert Louis, wasn't he, with the little flick.
He had a few to choose from. I think Cameron Smith, Robert Lewitt. It would have been spectacular if it came off.
Meanwhile, the penalty for the obstruction, as Warrington were threatening, as they have been in this first 40 minutes. Here is Luke Gale. Meller and Hurrell again, a little skip from Hurrell, and Keenan Brand felt that, and Hurrell's still going, and he just manages to stay in the field of play. They've dealt with him well there.
The ball was
It's like, what do you hit? Ben Murdoch-Masila, Bill, was involved in that tackle. He still can't get him out of touch. Josh Charnley.
Oh, to be fair,
he's lost that ball.
I think the ball was stripped, Bill.
I think
Josh Charnley's all over that ball. It does become a tug of war, and Josh Charnley wins it, but maybe when the sides go in at half-time, Richard Agar will say, get the ball to Conrad Hurrell and let him just test out this young fella in the centres.
Another penalty for Leeds then. That was fascinating. Two Tongan teammates going head-to-head, Conrad Hurrell and Ben Murdoch-Masila, two big Tongan teammates. Here is Adam Cuthbertson, and Cuthbertson sensed an opportunity. Warrington managed to shut the door. Matt Davis with the tackle. Again, they go for the big men. Again, Warrington managed to defend.
Is that Cameron Smith? Yeah. Another youngster that's played well this year. Centre field now. Again. They're holding on here, Warrington, aren't they?
And there's plenty of tackles in the bag, and Meller will carve his way through and get the try, surely. Meller on in place of the injured Jack Walker, but Walker got the first try, and Meller, his replacement, has added to the Leeds tally. And the Warrington defence had been creaking, and eventually it gave way there. And there's a bit of hard talking coming up when they get back to the dressing room for the Warrington Wolves.
Well, what you get off Richie Meller is effort and commitment, and I think that play just sums it up.
Lovely play, wasn't it, from Leeds Rhinos? Cuthbertson on a hard line, Meller on a hard line, attracting defenders. But this is an exhausted Warrington team. Defensively, 583 tackles so far. Big effort, nice play. People in the right place at the right time.
Good work from Alex Meller as well. He pushed up as though he was going to get the ball. Space opens up for Richie Meller, who just went for it as quick as he could.
Second try of the season then for Richie Meller. Once Warrington made 145 appearances for the club. Now then, Reece Martin continuing with the goal-kicking duties. Not surprising, given that he's kicked 3 from 3 so far. This probably the trickiest one he's faced tonight, and the first he's missed tonight across the face of the posts.
You'll never win a game on your own. Richard Agar knows that when he looks at his team in the eyes in the changing room, that it's been a full-blooded performance from them. Steve Price knows that they have had plays near the Leeds' line. They haven't done them. The plays that they're running, there was no purpose behind them. There were some loose passes. And like Barry said before, they have been clunky in performances this year, and they're just after that consistency to go to the next level. When they're good, they are really good, Warrington.
Meller neatly traps that ball and then coolly grabs it as it bounces up again, and the half-time hooter approaching. And Leeds will be very satisfied with their efforts in the first 40 minutes, despite losing the fullback, Jack Walker, pretty early in the proceedings. Warrington, bit of fixing up to do if they're to turn this game around. And there's plenty. Oh, that's ominous. Darryl Clark, you can just see him hobbling from the field. They don't need that, because it's been bad enough for Steve Price, Lee Breers. Just formulating what's to be said in the dressing room at half-time. The Leeds supporters, though, very satisfied with what they've seen from their side. Looking to make it 3 wins in a row, well on the way to it, while Warrington, with this miserable away record, well, 7 without a win away from home in Super League. And if they're to end that run, then they are going to have to come out firing in the second half, because the first half here at Emerald Headingley has completely been dominated by the Leeds Rhinos, and they have the points to prove it.
%, completion rate 72, 50, handling error 63 meters.
Yes, you can here. We're looking at carries, meters made, tackles missed and tackles made.
Hey? I got toothache. Oh, you mean I'm happy with this? Yeah. I thought just in general. But, am I doing tries? Yeah.
Welcome back to Emerald Headingley Stadium in Leeds, where the scoreboard for a home side chasing 3 wins in a row for the first time since 2017 makes pretty reading. They got a 14-0 half-time lead over the Warrington Wolves. Jack Walker and Richie Meller with the tries. Reece Martin with 3 successful kicks out of 4 attempts. Nothing thus far for the Warrington Wolves on the scoreboard, and perhaps when we look at the stats board we can see why. Slightly more possession for the home side, but the big story is in the completion rate for the home side. 72% to 50% for the Warrington Wolves as a result of their 6 handling errors. And look at the meters made, 610 for the Rhinos, just 364 for a Warrington side that have been stifled by Richard Agar's team. Let's take you into the dressing rooms here at Emerald Headingley Stadium and get the thoughts of Kevin Brown, who joined us pre-game and said that he thought this would be a Warrington Wolves win. What have the Leeds Rhinos done that you haven't seen coming?
Yeah, they've just done the basics better and they've been the much aggressive side. I think, you know, that was summed up with Matt Pryor's tackle on Blake Austin. He shut the play down and caused a fair bit of damage to him. And yeah, that was backed up in attack as well. I thought they ran harder and split the field a little bit better. They used the short sides as opposed to, you know, the big, long, wide shift Warrington have been doing.
Talk about the Warrington Wolves, Phil Clark. Would they take any sort of solace out of the fact that they're only 14-0 down, having not really fired a shot at all in that first half?
Well, they'll have to do, because they have to have some positive talk in the half-time address. And don't forget, they did get over the trial and did it with Toby King and almost got the ball down to get off to a flying start and score some points. But I do think we looked at a list of statistics. One thing that we can't really measure is enthusiasm. And I would say at this point, Leeds look like they've got more than their opponents.
OK, let's go to John Wells at the touchscreen to give us a recap of that first 40 minutes. John.
Thanks very much, Brian. Yes, it was a first half dominated by the Leeds Rhinos. Kevin Brown is exactly right. Definite game plan from the Rhinos. I think they get to the ends of sets, get the ball dead, set restarts for them, take points whenever on offer, and they came as early as the 5th minute through the fleet-footed Jack Walker. Reece Martin added a penalty on 12 minutes, 8-0, and then what I thought was going to be a significant moment in the game, still may be, that right ankle just there from Jack Walker getting caught in a tackle. They made pretty light of that, though. Forced into the only piece of defensive rearguard action. Great try-saving tackle from Dwyer on Lynham. A further penalty from Reece Martin on 27 minutes, took it to 10-0. And then Richie Meller put through a gap by Luke Gale just 3 minutes from the half-time, 14 points to 0. As you said, definite game plan. Doing the simple things correctly. I think they've also coupled that, getting to the ends of sets and taking the ball off the parks, a dangerous back three for the Warrington Wolves. They've taken them out of the equation, take points whenever on offer, and then back that up with some defence that's toned down, dialed down a little bit by the Leeds Rhinos. And there's one man in particular I think I've seen an improvement from, and that's Robert Louis. Have a look at this play as it unfolds here. Now, very often you would see Robert Louis in a previous guise try and shut down this play. Be dragged in by this play and leaving Stefan Ratchford here on the outside to go and threaten that outside back. Just have a look at the way that Robert Louis gets off here. He doesn't sink in, gets off, makes it a 3-on-3, then goes and gets his man. That pattern was repeated throughout the first half, even when he does get caught out, as he did in the lead up to the play from Dwyer around the back to clean up. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is where he does get himself a little bit keen every now and again. Great hands to get on the outside, but what a tackle that was. What a cover tackle. Really important point in the game as well for the Leeds Rhinos. Just one more to look at. These aren't the sexiest pictures to show you, but I think they're important just to show what the work that Leeds Rhinos have done in that defensive line. Robert Louis, the middle of those 3 guys that we've highlighted, so often he's been somebody who has rushed the line and forced Leeds Rhinos into secondary defensive tactics. See the adjustments he's making there, nice and calm, plenty of talk, falls off, peels off, gets his man. Now, that's not something that happens overnight or in the space of 1 or 2 weeks. It's something that they must have been working on for some time, because that is a distinct improvement on that right edge defensive unit that I've seen in previous months and previous seasons, Brian. And that's, I think, in large part why the Warrington Wolves are a duck egg to show for their first 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's a first half of a high standard for the home side, working well as a defensive unit together. What can they do? What should they do, in your opinion, to strangle the Warrington Wolves in this game? They're 14-0 up, and to suggest to the fans and to themselves that they are back, putting the foot on the throat would be appropriate now.
I think they've got to do what they've been doing in the first half. It's been working great, so to change it would be crazy. I think they've been turning Conrad Urrell. He's been causing a lot of problems when he's been coming back on the inside. So keep doing that, finishing the sets well, maybe improve their, the completion rate a little bit, and they'll be tough to beat.
I wonder, Phil, how much it will affect the Leeds Rhinos if they don't get Jack Walker back on the field, and how could Warrington exploit that?
Well, I don't think they will get him back from the reports we're hearing. And what's fascinating is that Brad Dwyer, we've watched Brad Dwyer play a lot of Super League games. Rarely have we seen him play for 80 minutes. We think he will play for 80 tonight with Richard
Meller
Meller
had been his interchange, yeah.
And I would think that one of the things Warrington have to address, not only do they need to score some points, they're going to have to stop Leeds from scoring even more. And the fullback, be it either Meller or Walker, who's on the field, looked particularly dangerous when they were able to create the extra man. So they've certainly got to get the numbers right in covering that. If they concede more than 6 more points, this game's over for the Wolves.
How will it go, Phil? Second half prediction?
I think Leeds look up for this. They're going to win.
Kevin?
Yeah, I've got to agree with him again. It's hard to, bet past Leeds at this point.
Well, it would be a huge win for the Leeds Rhinos and would further ask questions of the Warrington Wolves and their inconsistent form. Barry, Terry and Bill are standing by the other side of this break to bring you the second 40 minutes from this round 5 clash at Emerald Headingley Stadium, where the home side, the Leeds Rhinos, have a very healthy 14-0 lead over Steve Price's Warrington Wolves. What has Price said at halftime? What has his side got in response? Find out after this.
Premier League action coming up on Sky Sports. Saturday night football on Sky Sports Premier League features Watford against the unstoppable, seemingly, Liverpool. And then Super Sunday features Everton against Manchester United. That's 1 o'clock Sky Sports Premier League for that. 5 o'clock on Saturday for Watford against Liverpool. So 2 big games to come, big second half to come here at Emerald Headingley. Leeds Rhinos ahead by 14 points to 0. Walker and Meller, the 2 full-backs, doing the scoring. Martin with 3 goals and Warrington with some work to do. Warrington's travel sickness is their big failing at the moment. They have not won away from home in Super League since July the 6th last year, when they were 36 points to 6 winners over the London Broncos in Ealing. They are 14 points to 0 down here. They've hardly looked the part tonight. They need a big turnaround in the second half, Barry.
Absolutely, and I think when Steve Price got his side in, it's not that they haven't been trying hard, they've just been made to work incredibly hard. 178 tackles, and the metres that Leeds have made when they've had hold of the ball, 610, so a lot of work up against them. We've been having a look at different combinations, how Leeds might work that full-back spot. We think that potentially Ash Hanley, who I do know trained in the off-season in that full-back role, they might look to get him involved, but Meller with ball in hand is a threat.
Hold me, then hold, go on.
So Leeds in possession, Cuthbertson, after Pryor's run from the kick-off. Here is Cameron Smith. Smith, who has started every game so far, but on the bench tonight, having just missed a bit of training at the start of the week, apparently due to illness.
That was a massive carry, and Darrell Clark just felt that effort as well.
Here we go.
Look at that. There you go. Picks him straight out. Blake Austin, again, left on the ground.
Gale gets the kick away before Philbin gets to Gale. Ratchford is underneath it. And here is Tom Lynham, and Lynham with this really strong running style puts his head down. He really does put his head down and charge, Tom Lynham.
Yeah, I said before, he's big and powerful. I'm sure Richard Agar would have said to his troops, look, just expect this Warrington side to come out, try and ambush you, try and bully you, try and get over you. Expect that reaction, make sure you're good, take the game away from the dummy half, the number 9, Darrell Clark.
Lewis Johnson is on, once to the Castleford Tigers Academy setup. Now here's Ben Murdoch-Masilla. Murdoch-Masilla winding up for the charge.
Good work from Meller there.
Yeah, Alex Meller with the tackle.
Worked hard from the inside, protecting his number 7 and captain.
The kick cross-field is claimed by King. King keeps it alive, but Curry couldn't keep a hold of it. Turnover, chance to go downstairs. Get the halftime news from Jenna Brooks.
Thanks, Bill. Richard Agar's halftime message is don't change anything. Keep working for each other, and he's confident they will win the game. Jack Walker, however, is done for the night. His foot is in a boot. Steve Price, not very happy, as you can imagine. He said that the ruck speed is just far too fast for his team in that first half. He is confident that they can get back into it in this second half if they can just build some pressure.
Meanwhile, Luke Briscoe was the latest player to feel a bit of pain after he was dumped to the ground there.
Heavy challenge, wasn't it? Heavy tackle, picked up, driven back. And Briscoe, brother of Tom, has been really impressive in the last few weeks. Leg lift.
Anything wrong with that?
A leg lift maybe, potentially. Whenever you see a player put his arm out, you know that he's worried about how he's going to hit the ground, slam the ground. You can sometimes see shoulder injuries come off the back of it. On that occasion, Briscoe feeling the after effects, but they do look, the Warrington Wolves, when they've carried the ball, they've looked like they want to carry harder. When they've defended, they've looked like they've got a different attitude. They're trying to stop the momentum that the Rhinos had in that first half with a little bit of extra effort.
You okay to carry on is the question to Luke Briscoe. Gives a nod, and he will do that. Try scoring in the Briscoe family, 79 tries in 127 career appearances for Luke Briscoe. Just the 1 try this season, that was against Salford in that last game when they won, did the Rhinos. Conrad Harold, players clinging on to him.
His leg drive is immense, isn't it? Big, powerful lad. Players do benefit around him off the back of his play the balls.
Cameron Smith now.
4, move Joe. Hold
4
on.
tackles
Go,
gone,
make sure
40
the space
metres
there,
out.
Joe.
Luke Gale, and Gale, Meller to Hurrell, little skip, and then he says, right, let's have another go.
Well, you could see Richie Meller, he just wanted to tip the ball on as quick as he could. He wasn't bothered at going at the defensive line, trying to fix a defender.
Little kick into the corner. Well dealt with by Warrington, but they'll concede the goal line dropout.
Good discipline from Richie Meller. When that ball goes up, he makes sure that the Warrington player, Josh Charlie, catches that ball, feet are on the floor, and then he bundles him into his own in-goal. Beautiful kick from Gale. Push, chest, the ball's grounded, and Meller in for extra helpings.
10 seconds, Blake, let's go, mate.
First goal line drop out of the game, in fact, and they've gone short of Warrington, aiming to get the ball back. Will they do that? Yes, they do with Lynham. It's paid off.
Well, you go for distance, you're not going to get the ball. If you go short, it's a 50-50, and it's come up. It's come off for them.
They needed that, didn't they, Warrington?
Little things.
Under the pump a little bit.
Give them a bit of momentum. Still deep in their own half. Here is Philbin now going across the field. When he straightens up, he runs into Matt Pryor and co. Clark, Blake Austin now. Austin trying to cut through. He does cut through, and it's Meller coming back to make the tackle on him.
Well, good work from Meller to bring him down. He was away otherwise.
Now here's Widdop. And they're going one side of the field to the other. But Newman gets a hold of King and stops his progress.
Newman is 20 years of age. The strength he had to keep that player clamped to his chest so he couldn't offload the ball.
Meller is targeted again. This time he gets a hold of it.
Catches that one. Steph Ratchford, Richie Meller spent so much of their career together. Whether they were at Salford together or this great club, Warrington Wolves.
Well, now in opposition tonight and at full-back, respectively, the versatile Ratchford and now the versatile Richie Meller. Here's Cameron Smith, and Smith, good work.
That's a big carry that. They were under pressure from the Wolves. Quick play the ball there for Cuthbertson.
Cuthbertson gets the pass away. Briscoe chiming in, and now here's Newman, and Newman cuts back in field. Needed to be a good tackle from Widdop. They keep the ball moving. Here's Gale now. Lynham with the tackle, that's the 5th. The ball will come to Louis, and Louis shapes to kick. They're running it. Newman, little kick ahead. The ball is bouncing up, and it's Dwyer. It's Dwyer who bursts through. Surely they're going to have to go to the video ref for this one. Brad Dwyer on the receiving end. No try, says Robert Hicks, because there must have been a knock-on or potentially an offside in the build-up to that.
Well, just to see whether he's within the 10. And the man, Brad Dwyer, who made 88 appearances for Warrington Wolves, Harry Newman, kicks the ball. Everyone looks like they're onside to me from the... He kicks the ball is then kicked. Is that Hanley?
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Richie Meller to Brad Dwyer, obviously goes through.
This could be a try. Chris Kendall, the video ref, is looking at the grounding.
Yeah, there was nobody offside, Bill. Everyone's fine. The first kick from Newman, everyone's onside. Then this kick here from Ash Hanley. It comes off Stephen Ratchford. It goes back. Richie Miller's the first to pick it up. The ball's picked up cleanly, and Brad Dwyer, well, he sees that space in front of him. He is electric off the mark, isn't he?
He's having that, isn't he? As soon as he sees that try line there, it's always sweet to score against your former club. Wonderful dexterity and a set-up and a try from the two ex-Wolves players.
Try it is. Dwyer's first of the season. And as Barry said, 88 appearances in the colours of Warrington Wolves, and on his 24th consecutive appearance for Leeds, he gets a try that extends the Rhinos' advantage and gets the game even further away from Warrington.
Well, both sides would have wanted to pull some points in the second half first. Leeds Rhinos have done it. They've extended their lead. Now we're going to be seeing what the Warrington Wolves side can do. Don't write off this Wolves side. They have got threats. They have got dangers all over the field.
But that was fortunate. That was one or two kind ricochets there, and the Leeds made the most of it. You've got to take your chances.
And put yourself in the right position. The standing fullback, Richie Meller, he ends up being in the right place at the right time. Lovely hands here to find the space. And he does well to sum this up. Harry Newman, find that offload. And you'll see him involved again a little bit later, Harry Newman. Gets back onto his feet. It comes back to his side. The eventual try scorer feeds Robert Louis. Again, nice catch pass. Kicks the ball into space. Great reactions from the Rhinos.
Martin converted the try. Leeds ahead by 20 points to 0. A long way to go in this game, but the Rhinos' domination is continuing. There's no sign of Warrington.
They have been respecting they've been respecting the ball, and they're turning it over on the back of some strong forwards. They expected Warrington to come at them up the middle of the field. Well, Leeds Rhinos have took the battle to them.
Is Gale, and really have got their tails up now of Leeds and Conrad Hurrell.
He's doing well, Richie Meller, isn't he? He's giving Conrad Hurrell early ball. The ball comes loose.
What's he doing going to offload that ball? An impossible offload from Conrad Hurrell. Too many numbers around him.
I think that's the second one, isn't it? If you count that break he made in the first half. Warrington with a little bit of possession, welcome possession too.
Good intent from Leeds in the tackle, led by Cameron Smith. Joe Philbin couldn't make any progress. Here's Lewis Johnson now. Still 21 years of age. Just Blake Austin. Widdop, they need the Austin Widdop axis to pull the strings now. Curry. And Curry gets the pass away, does well, gets it to Widdop. Widdop closed down quickly. Still inside their own half, Warrington. That's a penalty. Oh, what a time to give it away.
Yeah, third tackle as well. Cameron Smith gives the penalty away.
On games where I've been around, I don't appreciate hands going in the air and stuff like that, okay? Let me deal with it. No, but just leave it with me.
Well, the referee's saying that he will deal with it. He doesn't need Blake Austin to throw his hands out in the air and ask for the penalty to be awarded.
There's Matt Davis now. Back to Toby King.
Second time they've tried that, haven't they? It's a well-rehearsed move. They use it often.
Widdop, Lewis Johnson now. Lanky front rower Johnson. Pryor among the tacklers. Cameron Smith in there as well. Darryl Clark across the field. Blake Austin. Good work from Dwyer to cut him down. Here's Matt Davis now. Davis. A lot of sand on this pitch. You must make the going pretty heavy as well. Off goes Clark. Clark threatening and still on his feet. Clark, and he's almost there. Just short. Can they get something here? Blake Austin can't take the pass. Widdop will retrieve it. Widdop goes across the field, then kicks for Charnley. Charnley will chase. That's good work.
You know, he does a decent job there at Charnley to catch the ball over his head. It was a hurried kick. Ball pass from dummy half from Ben Murdoch-Masila. Goes behind Austin, puts Warrington under pressure. No, this is a big performance from the Rhinos. Like I said at the start of the game, a lot of questions been asked. Can this Warrington side come up with a performance, a win against the Leeds Rhinos that look like that they've turned the corner from round one?
Is Cuthbertson. Leeds just inside their own half now. Dwyer running. Gale scampering. There's Meller now. Warrington managing to stop his progress. 40 metres out with Gale. Cameron Smith.
Oh, move, Louise, get square. Oh, me, Matt, for the foot goal, better that.
Dwyer. Oh, my word. Ben Murdoch-Masilla, and to be fair, I think it's Alex Meller who is down.
Yeah, you're right. It just looked like Meller looked like he was going down, losing his footing. Yeah. He could see Ben Murdoch-Masilla coming. He steps off his left foot. He loses his feet. Look at this now. He's going down. Ben Murdoch-Masilla.
Look, it is contact with the head. It is high, but there is some mitigation there. Both players are slipping.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, head down from Murdoch-Masilla. Look at him. He's not even looking where he is. Hits him flush on the jaw.
Yeah.
I'll deal with the other stuff while we're on it.
I don't think the referee's got any option here, unfortunately.
And he's...
So you'll see now that, see how Meller is. I remember looking at round one game when Sam Powell was hit by Chris Hill. And then when he was hit by Chris Hill, he stayed down. If he would have got up straight away, would Chris Hill have been sent off? Would he have been sin-bin? Would he have just been a penalty? But we'll see what there is now here with Meller.
Well, hopefully Meller's okay first and foremost, but we had a conversation with Paul Cullen, didn't we? We talked about approach, contact, ending.
Yeah.
That's later on in the piece, but yeah.
Well, if he's making up his mind now, it's 10 minutes, isn't it?
Well, the South Stand was hoping for more.
Yeah.
Ben Murdoch-Masilla, and to be fair to him, the first thing he did was to, when Meller was down, was to check on him. He's just had another look. He looks absolutely distraught, Ben Murdoch-Masilla, because his team have got enough problems as it is.
Yeah, well, 20 points behind on the scoreboard.
Okay.
Do you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. It looks a bad tackle. It's right on the chops, isn't it? Right under the chin, but I don't think for 1 second Ben Murdoch-Masilla meant to do that. There's no intent in that. Of course he wants to hit Meller hard. Well, I think the referee's dealt with that appropriately.
So Leeds get the penalty, and I think Alex Meller is back on his feet, still out there. Good sight. But Warrington, 12 men, 20 points in arrears, and Leeds with their tails up, and Leeds looking for more points, and they could get them here because Hurrell's on the way. They dealt with it well.
He's got it down.
Has he got it down?
I think he's got it down.
Well,
Keenan Brand was pushed back. I think that he's bounced Keenan Brand back, and he's got over the line and grounded it. I think that smile says it all as well, although he does always smile, Conrad Hurrell.
Let's have a look what Robert Hicks said.
Mate, we have a try.
Well, he agrees with you, Tez.
What does Chris Kendall reckon?
He did his absolute best, didn't he, Keenan Brand? He's right in at the deep end. Here, Chris Hill having a word, as is his job as the captain. Here's the replay. The big man shoving players out of the way. Keenan Brand closest to the ball. He just can't deny the big man. And Richie Meyer, the standing fullback at the back. He sees the ball down. Well, this might be a better angle.
Well, he's over the line, and Keenan Brand's trying absolutely everything. The ball is there. It still looks like it's been held up from that shot. Let's not forget, it's gone upstairs as a no try.
No, it's gone up as a try.
Oh, as a try, sorry, it's gone upstairs as a try.
So Chris Kendall
has got to, right team, Chris Hicks
has got to overrule Robert Hicks here. I don't think he's got that down at any point.
Looking at his elbow,
right arm,
he's going to have a real long forearm, hasn't he, to get that down.
Is there enough evidence to disallow it?
Yeah.
Yes? Are you saying yes?
Yeah, because it's been sent upstairs as a try, I think there's insufficient evidence here. So I think that Chris Kendall has just got to throw it back to what the referee said, Robert Hicks, that it was a try. It was sent up as a try.
Oh.
Yeah.
What does Chris Kendall make of this? Has Conrad Hurrell finally managed to work a try? He has.
There's the smile.
Hurrell gets the plaudits of his teammates. He was threatening that all night. And Warrington, well, still disputing that. Chris Hill, I think, leading the arguments. Here you go.
He's too big and too strong. Here's the sin bin and the penalty, which gave them the field position. Robert Louis to the fullback, who's done that quite a few times, Richie Meller, giving early ball. Although he takes 2 or 3 steps, he doesn't look to go right into the defence. And it's a one-on-one with Josh Charnley, who he bashes out of the way, Conrad Hurrell. And in the opinion of Robert Hicks, the referee, gets that ball down.
How much did Richie Miller's enthusiastic endorsement of that
Maybe that was the sell
contribute? It was. The kick from Martin is off target. 24 points to 0.
And as well, the build-up to the try. Well, that's the reaction from
he
the
said,
court.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
Nobody can see it.
Yeah. But the build-up to the try from Richie Meller, to go with 3 attackers on 2 defenders, the 2 defenders were backing off. If you back off against Conrad Hurrell, good luck to you.
Well claimed by Harry Newman from the restart.
I think he's phenomenal. He's already phenomenal at his 20 years of age. Conrad Hurrell. Well, they're getting excited, this South Stand lot, aren't they?
Warrington getting frustrated, I think.
Yeah.
I think they're upset about that last decision. Stony-faced Steve Price.
Well, thinking, how are we so good against Saints and how are we so poor against Leeds Rhinos here?
The sequence this year has been first game lost, won, lost, won, and then on the 5th game they've come to the Rhinos, and it appears, unless this game drastically changed, they'll go on with a loss.
Yeah, they've won. The 2 they've won have been at home. They cannot win away from home at the moment.
Yeah.
Not in Super League.
Yeah. A worry for Steve Price and Lee Briers. He had a good first stint, didn't he, Harvest? See him man of the night.
And Leeds continuing their domination once again, marching Warrington backwards. Warrington on their own try line as Gale, the ringmaster, onto Robert Louis now. Louis over the top to Briscoe. Briscoe will go for the corner. That's good defence. Good defence from Warrington to keep Briscoe out.
Well, speed from Briscoe. He's going off the field. He tries to get rid of the ball, knowing that there's no way of getting the ball down. So the ref will just check now. Was the ball out? Did it go over the sideline? And was it carried by a Leeds Rhinos player? You can see here, he knows he's running out of space. Little goose step. Widdop hits him.
It's a good shot from Widdop. Flings his body. His side is beaten. He just puts his body on the line.
Yeah, okay, Warrington head and feed.
Hard to tell. I think it will end up being Warrington head and feed.
Warrington feed. Warrington feed. Come on. It's not a debating society. Come on. Come on. Yes,
So
mate,
Luke Briscoe
I understand. We can go
denied.
Now, let's get his heads in. Ball in. Out. It's back on.
And Warrington survive. Still over a quarter of the game to go. Can they turn the tables? Can they get some traction?
Hand away from the ball.
Only 12 players on the field at the moment. And Murdoch Masilla still in the stands.
Hold. Go 2.
Well, that's exactly what they need, Bill, but they just can't seem to make any inroads. Meters made from Leeds is far superior than meters made from Warrington.
Blake Austin, Widdop, but the pass is stray. And it goes backwards, says the ref. No, went forwards eventually.
It's pressure.
I thought they were going to get away with that one.
It's pressure from the youngster Harry Newman, who comes in, he jams in. He's only got eyes for the man who's going to catch the ball out the back. So Gareth Widdop is forced to make that play. He doesn't want to engage in contact with Harry Newman. And it makes it a real tough ball to catch for Toby King.
10 seconds. Be back with your 5.
Well, they're against the clock here, aren't they? 3 seconds left.
Shot clock off.
Whoa.
Just in the nick of time,
Right
Robert
on
Louis.
it.
Yep. Here's Conrad Hurrell again. Didn't have a chance to really wind up for that challenge. Took the ball virtually standing still. Still on the 20 metres line in the Warrington half of the Leeds Rhinos. And It's Cuthbertson now. Closer still they are. Dwyer. Gale now. Gale to Hurrell, and Hurrell tries to go over the top of Blake Austin. Austin did well there. Gale now. Gale dummies, puts the brakes on, runs into Cooper's challenge. Bang in front of those posts. 8 metres or so out now. Dwyer, little dummy from him. Siu Manafanai will use his strength. He'll get the ball down. Ava Siu Manafanai gets the try. First of the season. And his first on home turf. And Warrington are heading for another away defeat. And Leeds are all smiles.
Well, this is a big performance from the Rhinos, and at the present, Warrington have just got no answers to what they are doing. He dummies one way, he goes the other, he goes into contact with two players, spins out of Stephen Ratchford's tackle, gets the ball over the line, and Richard Agar must be thinking everything that we've worked on in the last few weeks seem to be coming off for us.
I'm getting better at reading lips. He says, good work, big fella. There was a nice understanding between the hooker in Brad Dwyer and the big front rower who's just returned to the field. He shapes to go to the open. And Ava Siu Manafanai knows what's coming. He times his run and just powers his way over the line.
Rhys Martin should get back on target with this conversion. The South stand in fine voice, and what Richard Agar's decision to go big has really paid off.
Yeah. There was some damage done in the first 20 minutes, that's for sure. Damage being done on that carry there. Always sweet when a big man gets over. You can see from the reaction of the players alongside him, this is a big result, a big performance, and that's a big try for a big man.
And he doesn't get many of those, only his second in Leeds colours. And again, the short restart is claimed by Leeds, by Harry Newman.
You know, there'll be a worry here if you're a Warrington fan. Warrington have won on 3 of the last 6 visits here to the Emerald Headingley Stadium, but when they've lost by big margins, Bill. One by 39 points, one by 40, and the other by 22. So they passed that already.
Cuthbertson picks up the offload and goes up the middle of the field. Good work from Cameron Smith to set the ball rolling here. Dwyer, and Leeds just irrepressible at the moment. There is no stopping them. There is no stopping them because they're in again. They are in again. Hanley adds to the tally. And the celebrations around Emerald Headingley, apart from the visitors' end, where 1 or 2 Warrington fans are already thinking about the journey home.
Class from Leeds Rhinos there. The man in the screen, Richie Meller, delivers a wonderful pass to that man who scores the try, Ash Hanley. It was a good finish, but the decision to pass that ball, good offload from Cameron Smith. And this is the slowest race in the world. Chris Hill and Adam Cuthbertson, slug on slug. But from that quick play of the ball, beautiful pass into space, and Ash Hanley beats 3 men to get that ball down.
Look, it needed some scoring, didn't it, from Ash Hanley? I think Richie Meller has been brilliant in this game. His attacking shape probably been a bit different than playing off the ruck. He's had to stand a bit wider. Defensively, he's had to cover an awful lot by organising his troops, taking a lot of energy out of him, Bill. The amount of ground he's had to cover, but in attack, he seems on.
3rd try of the season for Ash Hanley. $36 points to 0. Leeds Rhinos lead. Johnny Bairstow enjoying this one.
Lee Smith at the side of him.
Very slimline looking Lee Smith.
Must be a well-cut coat. He's enjoyed his retirement as Smith did. Stuart Pearce.
Not so enjoyable for him.
Big Warrington Wolves fan, of course. Loves his rugby league, Stuart Pearce.
So Ratchford will resume. Warrington looking at a nilling at the moment into the final quarter of the game. Dominated virtually from the word go by Leeds.
And that is a big change mindset, isn't it, from Warrington? Instead of going short, thinking, look, we need the ball, they've gone as long as they can, knowing that they're making meters. Warrington now are just falling off tackles, although they've been strong in this one.
You mean damage limitation?
Yeah, just get the ball away. We're just out here. We're out on our feet.
Well, having to deal with Conrad Hurrell all night is probably going to do that. Keenan Brand's going to remember this debut.
There's only one way to learn rugby league, and that's to play it. And when you're at this level and you're up against Conrad Hurrell, there's some harsh lessons for the young man.
Briscoe gets the pass away to Cuthbertson. Still manages to keep it alive despite going backwards. Dwyer was trying to squeeze the pass around the corner. Didn't come off. Leeds happy to try anything now.
Yeah, well, that didn't come off, but a number of things come off before them with the offload from Cuthbertson. They're just looking, they're trying to get the ball. It goes back, looking to shift there. Stephen Ratchford on the ball, always dangerous. But the Leeds line, say, intact. It's aggressive. It's going forward. Warrington's defensive line, last couple of sets have been quite passive.
You do see a bit of character when the scoreline is against you like this. Which players in the primrose and blue are going to wave the white flag, and which players are going to keep going right until that final whistle?
Philbin. It's hard to know what to make of Warrington, the side that nilled St Helens.
Unpredictable. You don't know. You don't know what you're going to get. Like when they turn up and they play, and they are absolutely sensational. They can be unpredictable with the ball, but that's in attack, that's a positive. But performance-wise, unpredictable as well, because you don't know what you're going to get. You're going to get the performance that they've shown against Saints or the performance that they've shown here tonight.
And it has been small things. Chris Hill usually carts that ball up, gets on with his work, and on that occasion he loses the ball, surrenders possession. And Warrington Wolves can't do anything without possession. They've done far too much defending already.
Leeds to their 40-metre line. There's Dwyer. Here's Harry Newman. It's hard to believe Harry Newman's still only 19 years of age.
Incredible.
He looks the part, doesn't he?
Incredible. Last year was his breakthrough year in Super League. The year before, it was his breakthrough year on dual reg at Featherstone.
There's a bit of relief for Warrington Wolves. I said about the defence they've had to do so far. Also, when they've had the ball, they've either dropped it, lost it, or given it away. 45% completion for the Wolves tonight, as opposed to 73 for the Rhinos.
Well, after that error by Luke Briscoe, Warrington have the ball back, and they're just inside the Leeds half with Mike Cooper. Over 220 appearances for Warrington Cooper. Chris Hill, another stalwart. Benefited from that 3-game suspension, Chris Hill, because he played a lot of rugby league in the last year or so. Went on tour, of course, during the autumn, played in all the tests. Hardly missed last season. Luther Burrell is on for Warrington. Here's Gareth Widdop. There is Burrell powering onto the ball, the former England Rugby Union international, 5th tackle. Well, then can they find a way through the Leeds defence? Widdop with the kick into the arms of King, but King turns and finds Lynham in his way, and then the ball's picked up by Newman, and Newman goes across the field. Still on his feet, Newman. Little sidestep. Eventually, Matt Davis brings him down.
Well, he's a firecracker, isn't he, Harry Newman? When he gets the ball, he's no idea what he's going to do other than try and get rid of defenders. The transition from defence to attack seems to be there. Everyone wanted a big improvement from last year. Well, they've certainly got that this year.
Oh, that looked high on James Donaldson. Donaldson ducks under it and plays the ball. And here's Reece Martin now. Martin bouncing back infield. 3 tackles gone this set. And Robert Louis now. Louis
gets the ball back. And that's the referee given there. Cameron Smith just disputing that.
He's given a penalty saying that he called held in the tackle. The tackle was complete. They played the ball, they passed it, and that's what he's been penalised for.
There you go. Well, they got the benefit of the doubt there, Warrington, but they won't be complaining.
Coming up tomorrow on Sky Sports, it's on Sky Sports Arena, Toronto Wolfpack against St Helens. 6 o'clock for that one. And then we can look ahead to next week. We'll see the Leeds Rhinos again next Thursday, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena. And it'll be the Toronto Wolfpack back here at Headingley for that game. And that's followed on Friday evening, 7 o'clock Arena. Can Warrington bounce back? Because that's what they're going to have to do after this nightmare at Emerald Headingley, and they take on the Castleford Tigers. Penalty to the Warrington Wolves.
Yeah, Donaldson involved in the tackle while he was trying to regain his feet. The ball comes loose, and in that situation, the referee will nearly always go with the player in possession. Look at the expression on his face, Toby King. It's been a difficult night for all those players. And suddenly now, with just over 13 minutes left, one side will be looking to keep the 0 and the other one will just simply want to get on the scoreboard. Luther Burrell, who graced this field as a Leeds Carnegie player earlier on in his career, loses the ball. It was right up to the line, and as soon as he tried to catch that ball, he had a defender in his grill. Luke Gale just dislodges that ball, and Alex Meller, who makes the game this week, missed a boatload of tackles last week against Salford Red Devils, and Richard Agar kept faith with Alex Meller, and he's put in a good performance for his coach tonight.
Nothing going right really for the Warrington Wolves tonight. Just trying to think of how many clear-cut opportunities.
No, none really. That you've got to credit the defence, like how many times that they create those chances, the missed tackles that they have, the breaks that Leeds Rhinos have made is 8-1 in Leeds Rhinos' favour. So
one break,
and I can't even remember it. Seems to have spent all of this match defending.
Leeds in possession once more. Here's Reece Martin. 40-metre line, Warrington territory. And they face the Castleford Tigers next up, the informed Castleford Tigers. Luke Gale, once of the Tigers, puts the kick in. Luke Briscoe is chasing, and Warrington are going to have to concede the goal line drop out. Ratchford the last line of defence.
Great kick from Luke Gale there, just tantalisingly rolling into the in goal. He knows what he's doing, Luke Gale. Good kick chase from Robert Louis and Luke Briscoe, who's had an impressive 3 or 4 games, Luke Briscoe.
Brother Tom still recovering from injury. Again, Austin's gone for the short kick-off, but Cameron Smith is underneath that. Leeds have it back, 20 metres out. More pressure coming on the Warrington defence from James Donaldson initially. Dwyer running. Then gets the pass away. Try scorer tonight as Cameron Smith plays it. Robert Louis, short ball from him. Forward pass it was, cutting short the celebrations for Harry Newman.
It was a good line though, wasn't it, from the youngster? He was man of the match last week against Salford. Comes on that tight lead, instead of going out the back, he hits Newman on a crash ball. It's a good line, but just a step behind. He's already celebrating Robert Louis, but it's just that step.
That's a set play, isn't it? You've got a player drifting outside, you've got a player just easing their way into that space. And they'd have practiced that many times on the training field. Unfortunate, didn't execute on that occasion.
Leeds in the points again, 36-0. They put 9 tries on Hull Kingston Rovers in the last home game, 52-10 the scoreline there. So not bad form to start the new campaign in, is it?
It is important that to, this brand new stadium, there is a danger that teams really enjoy coming here. Oh, there's another mistake. Good tackle from Reece Martin. But going back to the stadium, if every opposition player, when he fills his form in at the start of the year, says, favourite away ground, Headingley, that should hurt the Rhinos players. And that mistake, I think that has hurt Steve Price. Good step, tries to come back on the inside, but it's been good, hasn't it, from Alex Meller and Reece Martin over on this right edge for the Rhinos. They've put a lot of work in defensively.
Stand up. You can't put the ball in until they're in. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because it's your ball.
So head and feed again to the Leeds Rhinos,
Get your heads in. Heads in.
who had a poor 2019 season. They did end it, ironically, with a victory over the Warrington Wolves here.
One. Move now. Hold me. Hold. Go on.
Here is Dwyer. Donaldson.
Two.
A man who really resurrected his career at Leeds, having been freed by Hull Kingston Rovers. Conrad Hurrell.
Three. Move.
Warrington managed to stop his progress. Keenan Brand and Luther Burrell doing the tackling. Now here's Luke Gale. Luke Gale takes it to the short side again. Little kick from Meller, and it's just... Oh, is it out? Miller's claiming something there. Referee Robert Hicks having none of it.
The two old buddies, Meller and Ratchford, having a little bit of an altercation after, but he tips that ball on the end of his foot, chases hard, and it just hits the sideline corner post.
Here's Lynham.
Stand now. Go on.
Last 10 minutes of the contest. And
up quick from Donaldson there. Still an offload from Warrington though.
Cooper managed to get it away. Davis gets it away to Stefan Ratchford. Ratchford is closed down. wrapped up. He gets it away to Matt Davis.
There's going to be a big call there from the Rhinos. Whether they score or not, I don't think they'll be bothered. It's keeping this Warrington side to 0 though.
Curry now. 3 tackles gone this set of 6. Jason Clark, Matt Davis, and on to Blake Austin. And Austin confronted by 3 white-shirted Leeds Rhinos defenders. Can't make any progress. Here's Chris Hill. He'll really feel this, Chris Hill. He takes it very personally. Clark. Austin will kick to the corner. The ball is batted down and it's into the arms of Richie Myler.
Richie Myler, he's been all over the field, hasn't he? Playing in a position.
He seems to be absolutely everywhere.
I don't suppose he'd have played fullback other than under 10s or under 9s at his amateur club back in Widnes. And here he is on the biggest stage, being asked to do things that are unfamiliar. But what he's done is he's played to his strengths. His distribution has been good. He's turned up, and he's been a real running threat all evening.
36-0. 6 minutes or so to go, and Warrington Wolves on their way to being nilled for the first time under Steve Price. They've got to do something about it in the last few minutes here. The last time they were nilled was at Leeds. Funnily enough, it's not funny if you're a Warrington supporter. 2017, they lost 40 points to 0.
Oh, incredible, isn't it? You know, the key men for the Rhinos have played well on the back of a team performance. But you look at enthusiasm. Enthusiasm it stands for an awful lot in the game. Like, the fans thrive off it, players thrive off it. When that ball's kicked from Robert Louis, Richie Myler probably looked the most energetic player on the pitch since he's come on. He's the man who's chasing the ball, he's chasing the kick, just in case it stays in the field of play.
It's Warrington's head and feet. The referee not happy with that scrum. You've got to factor in Leeds losing Jack Walker very early on in the proceedings, and they just seem to have... Richie Myler has had a storming game.
Yeah, brilliant. But you're right, Bill. It's a point worth making. The way that they've had to reshuffle, the way that they had to rethink what they set out in terms of a game plan. Jack Walker just at the side of his coach on the sideline. The way that they've had to think differently about how they wanted to attack and take away the strengths of this Warrington side. well-drilled outfit, aren't they, the Rhinos?
Stay quick, Leeds! Stay quick!
Forward, said the South Stand, as Jason Clark took the pass from Cooper. Here's Blake Austin now, and they're going wide, and they do get the ball wide to Charnley, and he is being dragged to touch, manages to stay in the field of play. Here's Austin. Cooper once more, but nowhere for Mike Cooper to go. Into the last 5 minutes, Jason Clark. Widdop hits on to King, and King gets the ball away to Lynham. It went forward, said the referee, and that sort of encapsulates Warrington's night tonight, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, they seem to have been playing catch-up rugby for most of this game, and Steve Price, he'll be frustrated inside. This wouldn't have been how he envisaged his side playing. I'm going to say they were tested last week against Toronto. Real nervous from the players, from the fans, when it was 22 points apiece at one point.
When you watch that play from the reverse angle, Harry Newman really gets up quick. That's the reason the ball ends up on the floor. He's here carrying the ball and watching a player grow of age, come of age.
Well, Leeds, we mentioned it at the start of proceedings, the fact that they hadn't won 3 in a row since 2017 in Super League under the guidance of Richard Agar. Now a 4-match winning run. Well, think back to 2017 and grand final glory, Leeds fans. Coming up next, Toronto for the Rhinos. Here is Meller. Meller gets the ball to Hurrell, and Hurrell brings back Ash Handley on the inside. I thought Hurrell was going to really set off then, but he's got his hands on his knees on the sideline, so probably just running out of a bit of steam, Conrad Hurrell.
Yeah, well, again,
scrappy end.
Conrad Hurrell letting the ball do the work, find him, he tries to get on the outside, drops off Ash Handley. Still working hard here, the Rhinos. Conrad Hurrell, well, and that face says it all, normally smiling. I think he's all out, isn't he? He's gassed out.
He's a big bloke. That is for sure. As Warrington have found out tonight. Here is Chris Hill. Warrington 8 away defeats in a row in Super League now. Blake Austin. And that's the consistency that they need to find, isn't it? Well, it's consistent at the moment. They can't win at home. I mean, they can win at home. They can't win away from home. Consistently away from home.
Well, they got to the Challenge Cup. They won that. They want to get to Old Trafford. The form's got to be as good away from home as it is at home.
Blake Austin. Austin kicks that one high. Underneath it is King. King's completely enveloped by Leeds players, and that'll be the turnover.
Well, Barry said it before about that youngster Harry Newman, like how strong he is, because Toby King, he's powerful, played in the back row, played out wide, causes problems, but Harry Newman carrying the ball, he scatters defenders, but in a defence as well, he just clamps the ball, he's dropped the ball.
There you go, you've jinxed him.
Yeah, there you go.
But that is his first mistake. What he's had to do, he's done to a really high standard. He's made people around him, when they're in the same shirt as him, he's made them feel more secure. When they're in a different coloured shirt, he's made them really worry about what he's going to do, whether he's attacking or defending. There's been some outstanding performances, hasn't there? I don't think you can pick a bad player in a Leeds shirt this evening.
There's Blake Austin, Luther Burrell. Final minute of this contest, which has been dominated by the Leeds Rhinos virtually from the word go, and unless Warrington can come up with something in the last seconds here to at least put something on the scoreboard, they are going to go away with a big 0 against their name tonight. Here is Widdop, Cooper, Hill, Luther Burrell runs into contact, 10 metres out. 3 tackles gone. Leeds determined to hold their line, to deny Warrington anything. Cooper will step and go towards the post, and there's offside against Leeds. Now then, will Warrington, just for the sake of it, go for two? No. Not that petty. Cooper is Widdop's kick. They'll chase it, and the ball's belted into the terracing, and Leeds celebrate. The final act of the contest. Leeds have dominated. Leeds have made it 3 wins in a row in Super League 2020.